All right. Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar on nearshoring opportunities in the Northern Triangle of Central America. My name is Todd Merton, Head of Business Development with the Ethical Supply Chain Program, and I'll be joined today by my co-host Greg Huger, Executive Director of Think Huge Business Council. We've been working with Think Huge now for about a couple of years, trying to identify opportunities for the toy industry to establish reliable supply chain alternatives outside of the traditional markets, with today's focus being on Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. With the ever-looming threat and uncertainty over recent tariff policies, now more than ever, it is important to connect the industry with new manufacturing partners. The goal of this webinar is to educate companies on the opportunities that exist in these three countries and develop connections between the toy industry and new suppliers. We hope this will serve as the first of many steps in fostering these relationships. We've brought together a great panel of speakers today, including investment group representatives from each country, but also established suppliers from each, who will speak to the manufacturing capabilities and benefits of doing business in the region. Before I hand it over to Greg to explain a little bit about Think Huge's mission and introduce our first panelist, just a couple of quick notes about the webinar today. There will be a Q&A section at the end of the presentation, so please feel free to drop any questions in the Q&A tab at any time throughout the webinar. We will do our best to answer everything, but if we are unable to do in the time allotted, we will make sure to reach out to everyone directly. We'll also be posting a few poll questions throughout today's webinar and would appreciate everyone's participation. The polls are completely anonymous. Simply just select your answers when the questions pop up on your screen and hit submit. To get things started, we'll go ahead and post the first poll question now. What are your biggest concerns about sourcing outside of China and Southeast Asia? And you can go ahead and choose more than one answer if that's appropriate. All right, hopefully that's enough time for everybody to select their answers, and we'll go ahead and post the results.
Thank you, Todd. Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Huger, Executive Director of the Huge Business and Investment Council. That's Honduras, USA, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Huge is a nonprofit organization made up of private sector leaders from the four countries. Our mission is to mobilize private investment to create large-scale employment and make the American dream accessible at home in the Northern Central America and the United States. One of our key priorities is supporting friendshoring through contract production, and that's exactly why we're here today. We see tremendous opportunity for toy companies to partner with high-quality manufacturers in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. The region is home to many capable manufacturers and world-class free zone industrial parks that offer competitive, secure, and well-managed environments for production, just 2.5 hours by air and 3 days by sea from the US. We're proud to collaborate with the Ethical Supply Chain Program and our investment promotion agency partners to help you explore these opportunities and to connect with the right producers in Northern Central America. Now, it's a pleasure to introduce Juan Esteban Sanchez. Juan's the Executive Director of Invest Guatemala, the country's private sector investment promotion agency. Invest Guatemala is focused on attracting high-impact, sustainable investment to support national growth and competitiveness. Juan Esteban and his team are committed to helping international companies find strong manufacturing partners and navigate opportunities in Guatemala's expanding network of free zone industrial parks. Juan Esteban, please.
Thank you very much, Greg. Thank you, Todd, and hello for everybody just attending the business meeting. I would like just to highlight that Guatemala at this very moment is in a really good position in order just to help the Northern Triangle countries in order just to provide solution to the United States companies that want just to access to new products with really good quality, but also in a really short time in order just to be supplied. Next, please. So, in order just to highlight the condition that why Guatemala it could be a really important partner for American companies, we have just to say that Guatemala itself is a really good market. That now Guatemala has around maybe 18 million people living here, and 11 million people out of there they are in the possibility of being hired for the companies. The other thing is that Guatemala has a stable growth. We are being just growing for around maybe 3.5, 3.7% for the last 15 years. But also at this moment, we have just to realize that Guatemala is the more important economy in Central America. We represent almost 40% of the GDP of the whole countries in Central America. Now, this is important. Who is going to be the partner of the American companies, in order just to be supply in terms of, the toy industry? Guatemala is a perfect option in terms of, being almost in investment grade. Recently, companies like Fitch, Standard & Poor's, and Modi are considering Guatemala as a really good country in terms of reliability, microeconomic stability, but also really good signals in terms of a really fiscal policy managed by the country that in a conservative way is bringing the condition for Guatemala to have a really stable exchange rate, for example. Next. Next, please. Thank you. Now, talking about strategic location, we are the investment promotional agency of Guatemala, the private one. And I can say that in every country, they will just say that they are in a really perfect strategic location, but Guatemala just can fulfill this condition. We do have access for almost 140 countries, and we do have the capability of just providing all the options for the American industry in terms of toys, because from Guatemala, you can access in 3 days to Miami, but also 7 days to LA. The other thing is that just not consider Guatemala as an option in order just to provide to the North American companies with the supplies, but also you can access through Guatemala to a market that maybe just can be some around maybe 650 million consumers. And it would be really great. Maybe you can just supply your company from Guatemala for the toy industry, but also you can just provide toys to the country that they can be accessed from Guatemala. Next. Now, talking about something that is really important is that Guatemala has a really important labor force in terms of numbers in the region. Almost 27 of the population of Guatemala is between 20 and 34 years old age. And this is really important. Why? Because Guatemala has the capability in terms of human talent to, be hired by the companies here, and then just to guarantee, the quality and the productivity that the companies need just to be ensuring here. Finally, I can just say that at this moment, we can provide, the talent capacity in terms of technicians, high school graduates, bachelor graduates, but also postgraduate graduates. If you companies in America just want just to ensure the quality, I was just taking a look to the survey, we can just, through the National Technician School that we have that is called INTECAP, we can just train the people here in order just to comply with the quality that you are just looking for. Finally, in the next slide, please, is that Guatemala value proposition for American companies in the toy industry is that geographical proximity, compliance to high environmental and legal standards, a strong and dynamic private sector, competitive costs in terms of labor, energy, water, economy and monetary stability, the exchange rate will be the same for the last 20 years, diversified economy, young and productive human talent, and market access with the CAFTA DR as an example. Thank you very much, Greg.
You're on mute, Greg.
Thank you, Juan Esteban. Next, I'm pleased to welcome Javier Varela, Director of Export Promotion at Invest El Salvador, the National Export and Investment Agency. Javier leads a team of sector specialists dedicated to promoting Salvadoran exports and supporting productive partnerships with foreign companies. El Salvador offers strong manufacturing capabilities, a skilled workforce, and a business-friendly free zone framework that's ideal for contract production. Javier?
Thank you very much, Greg, and good morning to everybody. I want to thank Huge for this opportunity for us to be able to present what our country can give to the toy, or can provide to the toy industry in the United States. If you can go to the slides, please, Todd.
Yep.
Go ahead to the next one. Thank you. Here, as you can see here, we have a country overview of what El Salvador. We have a 35 million GDP in 2024. We have a population of around 6 million people with an inflation rate of 0.29% annual rate. Our main language is Spanish, but a lot of our people are able to speak English as well. Can we go to the next one, please? We have a very young and talented workforce, which has been internationally recognized for its diligence, efficiency, and strong work ethic. We have a 5.1 million working age population, of which 53% of them are women and 47% are men. Of these, 2.6 million are labor force. Here it is comprised more of 59% of men, and 53% of our population is under 40 years old. This is very important because, as you can see, half of our working population is in age, in labor enabling age. Can you please go to the next one? Salvadoran talent has a solid educational foundation for our innovation and growth. Last year, we did our first labor demand survey, which through very interesting data, 44% of the demand and on the vacancies in demand are in customer service personnel, 27% were operating agents, and 13% sales agents. In 2023, we had more than 26,000 technical and professional graduates in the country in careers such as information and communications, technology engineers and technicians, business administration, marketing and sales, industrial engineers, and health personnel. Can we please go to the next? Thank you. I'll talk now about some of our logistics infrastructures. At the moment, we have one airport, which is the Monsignor Oscar Arnulfo Romero International Airport. It has the longest runway in Central America, and we operate various cargo airlines such as Copa, Tampa Cargo, Amerjet, UPS, TAG, among DHL, among others. The first cornerstone for the construction of our second airport was laid in February of this year. We're going to have an initial investment there of $143 million US, and these efforts will help us modernize and give another opportunity for our products to be able to be sent by air to the US, which, as Greg had mentioned before, are really near to the US. From El Salvador to Miami, it's just a 2-hour flight, and to LA, it's around a 5-hour flight. We have 2 seaports actually in working right now, and maybe some of you have heard the news, but last year there was a concession made to Yieldport Holdings. It is a Turkish company which will have a concession of both ports and will invest $1.2 billion in the modernization of these ports, especially the La Union Seaport, which is our newest seaport, and which will be revamped and will be operating hopefully in full operations by 2027. Go to this next, please. Thank you. Here's an overview of the toy sector in El Salvador. As you can see, we have a $15.9 million US exports as total exports to the world. We had a 485.6% growth from January to May 2025 in comparison to last year. Our main trading partner is Guatemala at the moment, with $6.3 million being exported to Guatemala. And our exports to the United States are already having a 13.4% share of those exports in the toy industry. You can see some of the main products that we have been exporting. Please go to the next. Thank you. There is also a very strong complementary product sector, to the toy industry. For example, the plastics and their manufacturers, we had a 7% growth from 2024 to 2025. In the paper and cardboard manufacturers, we had a 10% growth. In editorial products, we had a 71% growth, and in wood products, 158% growth. Can go to the next, please. Here we have made a comparison of the commercial opportunities for the toy sector in El Salvador. We will share this presentation because this is actually an interactive slide where you can actually enter and see which of the products that have the best, let's say, the products with the high supply that are already being present in the US, and Salvadoran products with a high supply that are not present in the US. So we'll share this presentation with you guys afterwards so you can go through and see what the best opportunities are for the toy industry in the US. Thank you very much, Todd.
Thank you, Javier.
Thank you. You can go. Yeah.
Right. All right. Before we move on to the next presentation, I just want to pop up our second poll question here. What is the primary reason you would explore sourcing outside of China and Southeast Asia? And again, you can choose multiple answers here. We'll just give a minute for everybody to get a chance to enter their answers. All right, hopefully that was enough time. We can go ahead and post the results. Great. All right. Excellent. All right, and we will continue on. If Greg, you'd like to introduce our next panelist.
With pleasure. Now I'm pleased to introduce Karen Moradel, Director of International Promotion of the National Investment Council, CNI, the national government agency in charge with promoting and facilitating investment. CNI provides legal and technical assistance to investors while also coordinating across sectors to ensure supportive business environment. Honduras boasts a mature manufacturing base and some of the best managed free zone industrial parks in the region, well suited for companies seeking efficient nearshore production solutions. Karen, please.
Okay. Good morning. Allow me to introduce you to Honduras, a dynamic country located in the heart of Central America. If you could go to the next slide, Todd. We are the second largest country in the region, home to nearly 10 million people, representing 29% of the Northern Triangle population. Our labor force of 3.9 million people fuels an economy with a GDP exceeding $37 billion US, contributing to 20% of the Northern Triangle combined economy. In 2024, Honduras achieved an economic growth of 3.6%, outpacing El Salvador and also matching with Guatemala. Exports activity remains a key economic driver with over $11 million US in exports annually, representing 34% of total export from the Northern Triangle. Honduras today stands as an open, growing, and increasingly competitive economy with a solid regional leadership in trade and production. Our country logistic and export infrastructure are robust, high-flight, and efficient. Honduras operates 6 major cargo handling ports, 4 international airports, 2 specialized agro-export terminals, ensuring efficient access to global market. I would like to highlight Puerto Cortés, our main port, which holds a unique position in Central America. It's the only port in the region with integrated U.S. customs. Certified by the Container Security Initiative, and it meets the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Standard. Additionally, Puerto Cortés is recognized as a megaport by the U.S. Department of Energy, providing advanced security and operational efficiency. This strategic infrastructure supports Honduras as a regional export hub. Next slide, please. Geographically, Honduras is positioned as a national logistic bridge connecting Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. Goods can move coast to coast in only 8 hours, providing a rapid and cost-effective transit route. Honduras has direct roads connections to Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, enhancing the regional trade integration. On the global stage, Honduras enjoys preferential access to 45 countries and reach over 1.3 billion consumers through 11 free trade agreements, including with the United States and the European Union. This positions Honduras as a gateway for international trade and investment. Next. Connectivity. Also, Honduras is also home to a dynamic industrial ecosystem. Actually, we have 41 industrial parks operate through the country. These parks host over 350 companies benefiting from proximity to key logistic route export facility, especially in the north region of Honduras. Our industrial parks specialize in textile, light manufacturing, agro-industry, and serving as a platform that integrates Honduras into a global supply chain. Next. One of the most attractive advantages in our tax incentive regime is that Honduras offers the most comprehensive tax exemption in the Northern Triangle, particularly in its free trade zones. Full exemption on custom duties, income taxes, and municipal taxes. Exemptions also include sales taxes, net worth taxes, and full taxes. These incentives provide a highly competitive environment for companies focused on export, reducing operational costs and encouraging reinvestment in this country. Next. Finally, let me share the 5 priority sectors where Honduras offers the most attractive investment opportunities. Textiles and light manufacturing, a well-established sector integrated into the U.S. and global supply chain. Agro-industry, Honduras is a major exporter of coffee, seafood, and tropical fruits. Renewable energy, abundant natural resource, offers potential in solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. Infrastructure development, opportunities in logistic hub, roads, port, and digital infrastructure, and tourism, like rich biodiversity, Caribbean beach, archaeological sites, and potential for sustainable projects. In summary, Honduras offers a strategic location, competitive taxes incentives, and diversified economy open to investment. We invite you to explore the many opportunities our country represents for growth and partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Before we get into the presentations from the factory side, we'll just go ahead and pop up our third poll question. What is your perception of Central America as a region for toy manufacturing? If you can select the drop-down menu and just choose one. All right, great. That should be enough time if we can go ahead and post the results. All right, great. Excellent. All right, so we can now move on to the portion where we'll discuss, or we'll have some presentations from some factory representatives from the 3 countries.
Thanks,
Greg?
Todd. And we'll now present 3 companies among many that will give you an idea of the manufacturers in our region who are interested in contracting with you to produce your products. The first, Elsa Carrasco, will present the Honduran company Tegu. Elsa, please.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the space. Okay, I will talk a little bit about Manufactura Tegu. It's a pioneering Honduras company founded by Will and Chris Howie. I think, thank you. Yes. By Will and Chris Howie, they are from a New Zealand nationality. They are dedicated to transform the Honduras economy through the manufacturing of high quality wooden products, including toys, homewares, and other related goods regarding to the wooden. This company is based in Amateca Valley here at Honduras, and it's known by its innovation and sustainability and social impact. I wanted to tell you about a brief story of them. They started in 2006, founded by both of them. There are two brothers that came to Honduras and saw the potential of making business here in Honduras, and not only that, making a social impact through the country. So in 2008, they created the first magnetic wood block prototype. They started with that, but they have another prototypes regarding to the wooden sectors like cubes, columns, and another size of products. Just for you to know, they have more than 15 years here at the country. And one of the main features of this product for them is that they are premium magnetic wooden blocks. They're designed for all ages. They have multiple production lines and endless constructions possibilities. The products can be applied in different areas, such as educational, recreational, and therapeutic. They're based on that for the product applicability, but you can use it in other areas too. Also, talk to you about the manufacturing capacity. They are work with the lean manufacturing methodology. They have elimination of non-value added activities, waste reduction, the implementation of 5S, and they apply employees considered as process engineers within the company. Some have a little bit of the culture of operational. Since the fourth quarter, they implemented this comprehensive lean manufacturing within the country. One important fact is that for you to know, this company is based in a free zone here in Honduras, and they are working within all the incentives that the free zones have. Also, just for you to know, they are a reference in the national and international visitors when they come to Honduras. But for you to have a reference, this is one of the unique companies that we have as toys here at Honduras, and you can have more feedback about them. Talk about the markets and competitive strength. Their main markets, for example, is Amazon. Their main customer for global distribution is Amazon. The international markets that they have, they export some to US, Canada, United Kingdom, to Japan, Australia, and China. They're the main international markets that they have for the export sector. And also their other main markets is the education sector, but they mostly export locally they don't sell here in Honduras, but their main market is international. Some of their certifications, they had a WCA social management system by Intertech, and they got a chain of custody for sustainable line by Preferred by Nature. Next, please. Next slide. Just for you to know, as the services that we offer in the National Investment Council, we have this support to the companies. Today, the representatives such as the Manufactura TEU aren't present, but if you need to contact them, we leave here the contact of the Senior Manufacturing Manager, Rotter Correa, that he can give you any other feedback or technical information if you need it. Thank you for the space.
To the speaker from Guatemala, Jose Valladares. Jose will present his company. He's co-founder and CEO of Best Melamine of Guatemala. He'll present his company, and they have offices in Guatemala and in Connecticut. Very interesting company, very interesting man. Jose, over to you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jose Valladares. As you told, I'm the CEO of Best Melamine. Thank you for joining us today. I would like to take a few minutes to introduce Guatemala, not only as a country with growing industrial strength, but as a strategic and reliable partner from the toy industry. So if we go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Let's begin by highlighting that Guatemala is not only the largest economy in Central America, as Juan Esteban remarked a few minutes ago. Guatemala has also a highly diversified economy and the industrial powerhouse of the region. 4 of every 10 products that are manufactured in the region are made in Guatemala. Next, please. Therefore, the manufacturing industry are one of the main drivers of Guatemala's economy. The industry-related sectors represented 23% of the total GDP, more than 20% of the formal jobs, 51% of the total exports of goods, and 16% of the foreign direct investment. Some of the main subsectors of the manufacturing industries are food and beverages, apparel and textile, plastic and cardboard manufacturers, plastic manufacturers, and wood manufacturers. Next, please. But let's talk about what truly matters to companies like yours and that Guatemala offers. Those key factors that make Guatemala attractive to the toy industry. I am talking about consistency, compliance, quality, and a smooth operating environment. Guatemala meets and exceeds international labor and environmental standards. Our legal framework ensures full alignment with the global compliance requirements, including respect for human rights, environmental responsibility, and workplace safety. Our manufacturers understand that a toy is more than just a product. It's a promise of safety, imagination, and ethical products. We are ready to help you uphold the promise. We also offer something critical to your operations, specialized human talent. Guatemala has a young and skilled labor force with strong capabilities in precision work, plastic injection, textile assembly, finishing, packaging, and logistics. Our workers are trained in technical institutes that are evolving to meet the needs of advanced manufacturing. And our growing industrial base is already producing components used in exports around the world. Next, please. We have identified our current capabilities to be part of the toy industry value chain. Guatemala can be a key partner in the manufacturing, assembly, packaging, and logistics for the industry. Since you need predictability in the trade and logistics, our geography and agreements give us an edge. Next, please. We want to work with the toy industry and build a long-term relationship. Therefore, we develop a roadmap of how Guatemala may gradually build a toy manufacturing ecosystem. Today, we are here to discuss the opportunities of what we have identified in phase 1, and that is working on contract manufacturing and supplier development. Next, please. Thanks to the DR-CAFTA agreement, 99.9% of Guatemalan products enter to the U.S. duty-free, including toys categorized under HS code 9503 to 9508. We currently only pay the minimum protective tariff from the Trump administration, which is the 10%. Our rule of origin are flexible, allowing for raw materials from all Central America, the US, and the Dominican Republic to be considered as local. Combine that with Guatemala's fast access to both coasts and short shipping routes to major markets, and you have a logistical advantage that adds real value to your supply chain. Next, please. Guatemala is not only capable of supporting your manufacturing needs today, we are building the foundation of tomorrow. We have a strong industry ready to become your suppliers, such as plastic injection, apparel and textile, printing and cardboard, wood and furniture, and metallic manufacturers. As mainly exporter sector, they invest a lot of resources in complying with high standards. As country, we also offer a skilled labor and geographic access. Next, please. As mentioned before, we have a national roadmap to integrate into the toy value chain at every level, from components, production, and packaging to sub-assemblies, final assembly, and eventually design and innovation. Companies like Guateplast, Induplastic, and Polyindustrias are ready to produce export-ready packaging, plastic, and specialized parts. Our manufacturing ecosystem is ready to scale. We are ready to be your strategic ally, ready to manufacture, ready to comply, ready to grow together. And to finish this presentation, I want to talk about my company. And we produce melamine tableware. So we produce printing designs, and we are a big company who which we export lots of kids plates and sets plates. So we mainly work with McDonald's, Walmart, Costco, and every company who needs to the innovation on the tableware, we are the ones who can work with them. Most companies in the US are looking for other suppliers, and we're the only company in Latin America which we feel great about that and producing our products. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Jose. I think we have the other presentation.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Let me just
Sorry
slide
for
back
that.
real quick to get to your slides.
Perfect.
right.
Thank you very much for your time. Sorry for the inconvenience. First of all, I want to thank Huge for being a great sponsor and a great help for this strategic event. I think with all the countries of the Northern Triangles, it's of a great interest for us to be able to be a very strong partner for all the companies involved in this meeting and all the consumers in the northern hemisphere. Our company, Funcres International, has been in the market for the last 14 years. We specialized in the toy industry, mainly arts and crafts. We have an installed capability of 1.5 million pieces per month, including CNCs, laser cuts, die cuts, and printing machines to be able to develop products. We currently, in the next slide, if we could. We currently possess all the international certifications. We work with Meta, and we are an audited factory, and we produce products directly for FIFA, for Disney, and for Marvel. Our licenses are from Canada down to Argentina. We've been working with Disney for the past 9 years, having us position ourselves as one of our key partners in the region in America. Some of our customers, we manufacture directly private branding and regular goods for licensed products are Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Rolls, and TJ Masks. We also export to Mexico, Central America, Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina, and we're looking to expand soon to Europe. Our idea is to be able to bring this joy of these good products to all the regions, especially in the United States. Our tariff situation and our country situation are very important key factor nowadays. And I think it could be convenient to all of the manufacturers to look into this Northern Triangle to be able to support the companies which have potential to be able to support their needs and create goods with good quality and a very competitive pricing. Some of our categories we do nowadays, which include puzzles, flashcards, value packs that we sell to PriceMart in the region, Costco. We have crafts, all the painting games. We have all the board games that also include large puzzles from 2,000 pieces to 24 pieces. And also we do all the seasonal items for Easter, Halloween, Christmas, Independence Day. So we also have all those in our lineups. This is a little bit about us. Again, want to thank you all of you for the opportunity. Any questions, we'll be open to listen, and I think we can be a great partner for all of your needs.
Great, thank you. Will conclude the presentation portion. We'll get into the Q&A section. If anybody has any questions they would like answered, feel free to drop them in the Q&A tab, and we'll get to those. But before we do that, I just wanted to put up our last poll question, if you wouldn't mind answering. Now, what kind of support would make you more confident in sourcing from Guatemala, El Salvador, or Honduras? Again, you can choose more than one answer for this question as well. Great. All right, that should be enough time for everybody to answer if we can post the results. All right, looks like supplier directories are matchmaking, and we can certainly help with this. Part of the reason for these poll questions was to get an idea of what everybody on the call was looking for and help us to kind of shape our next steps. And one of the things we can do is look at setting up some initiatives where we can look into some potential matchmaking, again, setting up some individual calls, some trade missions if anybody is interested in that, and certainly get some case studies done for everybody as well. So I appreciate everybody answering the poll questions. That was very helpful for our next steps. And with that, I will get into the Q&A section now. I'll just read off the first question that we received. This looks like it's probably directed at all three countries, and maybe everybody can briefly explain. The first question was, are there any government incentives, tax breaks, or trade agreements, for example, CAFTA-DR, that apply to U.S. companies that relocate production to one of the countries?
Yes, there are. For the three countries, the three are part of the DR CAFTA. So if you can actually make the origin okay with what you're producing, then you can definitely export to the US without paying taxes.
Great. The next question I've received here is, how do factories in these regions ensure fair labor practices and compliance with international labor standards?
I don't know who the question is for, but in our case, and I believe most of the factories that presented, we do have all the international compliances, which include international standards. We're also a certified manufacturer for private label for Walmart, and Disney and Marvel, which always are very strict on the compliances, not only on the raw materials, but on the processes that you use to manufacture.
Great, thank you. Next question I have here, and again, this isn't directed to anybody in particular, but perhaps somebody can let us know. How are IP protection and anti-counterfeiting enforced in the region? Is there anybody that's able to answer that question?
Hello, yes. In the case of Guatemala, for example, definitely, and I'm sure also in the rest of the region, our governments have been doing different efforts in order to reinforce the regulations related to counterfeiting. In fact, there are groups that specifically created where there is public and private participation, where controls are being executed at the borders, so we can make sure that we are fighting any counterfeiting and protecting the intellectual property.
Great, thank you. Just looking to see if there's any other questions coming in. Okay, I think it looks like that's all the questions we have for right now, which is great. As mentioned previously, we'll at the end of this webinar, we will get a copy sent out to everyone as well with some contact information. So if anybody has any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me directly in the meantime, and I'm happy to pass along any questions or requests for additional information. But again, the purpose of this webinar was just to help highlight some of the opportunities available in these three countries in the Northern Triangle of Central America, and really to start the process of building relationships there. So, we need the toy companies, and we need the manufacturers to be able to get in touch with each other and understand what the needs of each are. So again, please, we appreciate any participation from anybody on the call that would be interested in having further discussions with any of the presenters that you saw here today. And again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly and to keep an eye in your inbox for the recording of the webinar with additional contact information. And with that, we can go ahead and conclude the webinar. Again, thank you very much to our presenters and certainly to everybody that attended today. Hopefully there was some useful information there, and we look forward to taking some next steps and providing more content for everybody to take a look at. So again, thank you very much, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Thank you.